Welcome to American Black Journal. I'm Stephen Henderson. Detroit's Motor City Match initiative is helping to grow the city's small business landscape. The latest winners are 10 businesses that will receive a share of the $500,000 award. This was the 13th round of the program, which is led by the Detroit Economic Growth Corporation. Several other entrepreneurs will receive services such as business plan and design assistance. Joining me now from the DEGC is Michael Rafferty, along with one of the 13 round cash awardees, Nefertiti Harris, who is the owner of Textures by Nefertiti, and a previous winner, Godwin Ihentugi, who is the owner of Yum Village. Welcome, all of you, to American Black Journal.
It's great to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, so 13 rounds of Motor City Match. Somehow that's gotten away from me. I would have said we were on 5 or 6 by now. But that's and we should explain what Motor City Match is. It's one of my favorite programs actually around the city, in that it tries to sort of take a look at businesses that are here operating and maybe need a little help to get to a new space or grow a little more than they have.
Yeah. So it's probably not just you that feels as though it's been around for 5 or 6. We have a quarterly cadence, and every quarter is a new round. And every quarter we aim to give out $500,000 to address one of the biggest needs that I think a lot of startups have, and that's the capital need, right? And in addition to that, we provide a lot of other supports and interventions to reduce barriers. When you think about all the wonderful business ideas that exist, what often exists as a barrier is just the knowledge of how to run a business, right? You may bake great cookies, and it should go to market. Those cookies should go to market. But learning how to put together a good business plan, learning how to actually run an effective business and satisfy the right market, and finding the right space. I mean, location is absolutely true. And of course, the fourth is the cash side. So
cash is always nice.
Cash is always good. So I mean, having started off in 2016, it definitely feels like this program, should 13 seems
How
like
could
a really
we be at
big
13
number,
already? Right, but there have been 13 quarters since then, right?
That's right.
Talk about the kinds of businesses that have participated in this in the past. I feel like it's a really different cast of businesses than you see in some of the other contests around town.
Yeah. So I mean, the diversity and the variety of businesses is remarkable. The program essentially takes applications that come in, reviews the applications for a series of things, including, is there demand for this? And will this particular business be supported by the community and add to the community? And because of that, we've seen daycare centers, sit-down eating establishments. Detroit Training Center was one of the first. It's a wonderful business model that trains Detroiters to do things like construction. So we've seen a lot of variety, but that variety is based on pent-up demand across all industries in Detroit. So we've seen in upwards of 50 plus businesses open since we began. At the end of this year, we're expecting another dozen or so. Again, of all stripes, businesses of all types.
Yeah. So I know both of your businesses pretty well, and I think most people do. But I'm going to ask you both to talk about what you do, and then talk about how Motor City Match is going to help you in that business. I'll start with you, Nefertiti Harris.
Hi, my name is Nefertiti Harris, and I am the owner of Textures by Nefertiti. I've been a natural hair culturalist, is what we call ourselves, for 27 years. And I got started because I wanted to maintain a space where I can take care of my son and monetize what I do.
What you can do, right?
What I can do. And so I started in my home many years ago, was able to raise my son and, create a large clientele. And I planned that, when he turned 10, then I would seek for a space outside of my home, and I did. And at that point, I co-opt other young ladies that had the same needs to raise their children and monetize, their lives and keep going. And so it's grown since.
Yeah,
It's grown since.
Talk about what this will do for your business. I'm
Yeah.
always really interested in that kind of intermediate space where, I mean, you've talked about how you started and then
Yeah.
where you've gotten to, and then there's always this sort of question mark about, okay, well, what's next?
Yeah, yeah. So the awesome story about this is that now I am in a position, thanks to Motor City Match and other entities as well, to own a space on Woodward at the Boulevard. And so that's part of my expansion project.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I never,
Because you're on Cass.
because I'm on Cass and
now.
Willis now, right in in Midtown proper, and now I'm going to be expanding to a block that's being developed.
Yeah.
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 And so without the leverage, winning the cash award with Motor City Match, I really could not realize this particular dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and I believe I'll be the only African American woman building owner.
Over in that
in Midtown.
area, is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's something.
So
I mean, that's maybe a
that's
whole
big
other
deal.
show, right?
That's another show. That's another show.
Right, but that's
Another
a huge
conversation.
deal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Godwin, talk about Yum Village.
Well, Yum Village, my name is Godwin Ihintugi, chef, owner, operator of Yum Village. Yum Village is a project that started when I was at Quicken Loans as a mortgage banker. I said to myself, you know what, I can cook some food, and I was a manager and a district manager for Target for some time, and so I just had a lot of experience in the food industry, but I really wanted to break into actually like making like a Google of food or like something like that, like a Chipotle or a Qdoba of African Caribbean cuisine. So Yum Village right now operates as that. We originally started as a pop-up supper club group, and then eventually moved into doing and operating as a food truck and catering company. And now, with the help of Motor City Match, will also be on Woodward as well, right there on the corner of Milwaukee and Woodward. And what's interesting about that is, so my father was an original programmer for the state of Michigan, so he was on that corner working on Marvin, and there was an import store down the block on West Grand Boulevard that we would go to, and he would like get all of the ingredients that we would use to make the African and Caribbean food that I'm now serving on that block.
That's really interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What's old is new again, right? So what inspired you to apply for Motor City Match?
So I actually, I applied for Motor City Match through the entire process. So when it first came out, I went, so I'm going to go for the big money, and I got denied, and so I started applying for the other steps. So like I think I got the first one where you get like the like a cash association towards like your TSA, and then I applied for the next one, like the Make a Space, and you get like the 5K, and all that stuff helps. And then along the way, there's like someone to tell you, hey, do this or do that, And granted, like I did have to, like I still took a personal loan out to like get a food truck to like kind of help push things along further, but this wouldn't happen without like an organization that's like invested in helping entrepreneurs get there, covering a lot of the barriers of entry.
Yeah. I would also imagine that there's a lot of support you find with the other winners at some point. That's so important, I think, with businesses, feeling like there's other people in the same situation or similar situation who you can go to and say, oh my gosh, how did you solve this problem?
Yeah, so we've become a bit of a community in and of ourselves, to be honest with you. And so one thing that I love about Detroit is there really is a distinction here where so it's family. So business family is what I call it, business community. And so I'm able to cross the street, and talk to another entrepreneur and get her advice or his advice. I'm able to, borrow, work, things that I need for maintenance in my space. So there is this kind of cross conversation that happens, between us that really helps with the support.
Yeah. What do you feel like we've learned in the 13 iterations of this so far about what we need more of in Detroit and what businesses need more to succeed?
So it's a really great question. Because we have this quarterly rhythm and this quarterly cadence, we're allowing ourselves to essentially evolve rapidly by lessons learned from one quarter to the next. I'd say one of the things that we learned sometime last year in seeking to quantify demand is that Detroit still has a tremendous amount of demand for goods and services.
That's
clear
unmet.
across the board. That's unmet, exactly. And nationally, internationally, a lot of folks are saying things like, "Oh, but online stuff, that's going to take away brick and mortar retail," right? In a lot of markets, that may be true, but Detroit, we still have so far to go to have all the right balance of good retail. And when the conversation of equity and inclusion, hits any ear. The first thing I think about is access. Access to goods and services, access to neighborhood-based employment. A lot of that stuff starts with retail. And we in our study, one of the things that we learned was that even though we're spending a tremendous amount of money still in the city of Detroit on our goods and services as residents, we're still spending billions, literally billions with a B, outside of the city,
elsewhere, right?
In part because what we desire doesn't exist here. So one of the things that we've always known, but we've validated through experience, through the programming, and through our own analysis, is that we can keep this program going for some time.
Keep going for a long time.
To be able, as far as the attraction, the business attraction side, on the barrier side, what the businesses need. We're learning that the interventions that we've got right now are exactly right. The businesses need architectural support. They need business plan support. The access to capital thing. We're still waiting for commercial lending to really reach a peak.
Step up again.
And step up in Detroit. It'd be great to have more rich uncles, in Detroit as well, to be able to help out with the equity. But until then, we need programs like Motor City Match to step in.
Okay. Well, congratulations on the program, and
you.
congratulations to both of your businesses.
Thank you. Thank you for
Great
having
businesses
me.
in our community. It's really great to see you rewarded this way.
Thank you so much.